What is going on, YouTube? It's your boy Sweet Phil coming at you with another Diablo 2 Resurrected video. Today I'm bringing you another one from a very popular series that I've been doing for a little bit here, and that's the Mega Budget Build Guide series. Today you see this Amazon standing right here, so obviously this is a Mega Budget Javazon. Now you can see up in the corner, this is a level 95, but I didn't use all the stats or all the skill points. I'm simulating roughly a 75 to 80 level character here, so if you get anything out of the video, don't forget, hit the like button and subscribe up so you never miss any of the Diablo 2 Resurrected content. Now, let's get after it. I like to start off with a little show of what this build can do at first and why you actually want to do this build if you're doing an Amazon. The quick and easy one that everyone goes to show you where your character can kill stuff is obviously going to be out here at the Frigid Highlands. You can see this is hell difficulty with this character, and it is no problem. Take them down. Come up here, you can just one hit a lot of stuff like that. Obviously if you get lightning immunes like this, you're gonna have to skip them. Alright, another popular place, obviously running Pindle. We can come out here, and this character is quite squishy. It is a super budget gear, so you gotta be careful, but see, Pindle got taken out in no time. Clear these guys out so I can get up here without getting ripped. What dropped from Pindle? Full rejuve, some rare Hyperion javelins, but nothing really that special. Alright, so now we'll get into the build after you see what exactly the character can do, and we'll start off with the stat points. Just enough strength to wear your gear, just enough dexterity to wear your gear, and everything else into vitality. You see I got all these extra points remaining because I'm trying to simulate 75 to 80 level character. Now, I know you're sick of hearing it, no points into energy. This is the max vita build that everybody does. That's what I go with too, so later on, when you get more levels, you're going to want to get up to 156 on the strength to wear that Spirit Monarch, but that's later on, if you can make it. I'm not even using it on this build because I'm going super mega budget, like I said. Dexterity, something like Titans need 109 dexterity. You can get that later too, but like I said, this is super mega budget, and you can see you can take out stuff here in hell, so I don't need that much. I put more into vitality to hopefully survive a little better. I got just under 1,000 life. Now we'll jump into the skill tree. We'll start off with the bow and crossbow, and you see I got 20 points remaining because this is a level 95 character, so I'm trying to simulate roughly, like I said, 75 to 80 level. I didn't put any points into bow and crossbow. We ain't using none of that. I got one into crit strike, one into penetrate, and one into pierce. If you wanted to, at this mega budget, it's hard to get a lot of points into pierce, but if you don't have a lot of skills on your gear and you want to get a higher percent chance to pierce, you can see it bumps up quite a bit on each level. You could put some more points into pierce. That would go along with one particular piece of gear that I'm wearing that adds 33% chance to pierce to give yourself 100 chance to pierce. But I decided not to go that way because of the lower level that I am, and I didn't want to waste any damage that I could get from the skills. And adding an extra 10 points into here or 8 points would take a lot away from that, I think. This way the build over here for the skill points is set up for when you do get that better gear. You'll be fine over here with just the 1 point into pierce. Over here for the javelin skills is where a vast majority is going. So we'll just start off. I got 1 point into jab, I got 1 into power strike, 1 into poison javelin. We're trying to get down to the bottom here, so I got a few into lightning bolt, which I'll explain in a second, 1 into poison jab, and you can see I got lightning fury maxed out. That's the main attack you're using on your right click over here, and then I got charge strike maxed out, which is what you're supposed to be using over on that one on the left click, because charge strike you attack individual targets or just a few small packs of monsters, and then lightning fury when you round up a big old pack and you hit them with that, and it just melts everybody. I also maxed out lightning strike because it's one of the synergies for both of those, and eventually that's why I have more into here, because that's also a synergy and it will add a bunch of damage to them. And then another synergy is power strike, so when you get up to the higher levels, like these skill points here, you pump those up, and it'll increase the damage of both of those even more. Now we'll go ahead and take a look at the gear. Now remember, this is all super mega budget, and I'll try to give you some good examples of upgraded stuff that you could find along the way to make your character even better. So look at these javelins, they're super amazing. Oh wait, they're not really, but I actually shopped these from Mala in Act 5. So walked over, they were like 5k gold or 8k gold, maybe they're 15, I can't really remember, but they're just increased attack speed javelins. Really, you could use literally any javelins in the game, it does not matter, you'll still be able to kill stuff, but I wanted the increased attack speed. And from Mala, I actually almost bought some 2 to Amazon skill javelins that she was holding, but I decided to pass those up to get some 40% increased ones from her. It took me like 3 or 5 minutes to find these and shop these from her. We'll jump down to the gloves because these are pretty hard to find too. Oh wait, oh boy, just 20 increased attack speed gauntlets. And see, I just wanted to get more attack speed so I could hit more monsters with more javelins that I could throw. So that's what I went with here. Other stuff you get here, really 220 javelin rare gloves are probably gonna be the best bet in this spot right here. But there's definitely anything with increased attack speed and life leech and mana leech resistances, different mixtures of that type of stuff. Up at the javelins, Titans, T-strokes, those are kind of the premier options. Then if you get some rare ones that have the skills for Amazon and increased attack speed is kind of the next best option there. And these gloves also, I bought these down at Anya, hopping into the Pindle portal and then back to her, resetting her inventory, pop, 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 pop. And that's where I got these 20 IES gloves from her. Up at the helmet, this is my go-to for budget builds, because if you have a budget build, you want better gear, right? So this is a 72% better magic find. It's just a 3-socketed helm with 1, 2, 3 perfect topazes in it. Maybe early on you don't even want to waste perfects. You could actually just stick flawless topazes in here, and that would just be, I don't know, 10 or 12 or 15 less magic find. Not even a huge difference, but it could save you time. It might take you like a day to find more flawless gems in order to cube them up to perfect ones. So just don't worry about them necessarily being perfect. Other options for a Javazon, the best is going to be a Griffin's, obviously, because that minus to enemy lightning res is amazing on that, and it has 1 to all skills and some other stuff too. Obviously, the go-to for magic finding, a Shaco, is also a great option up here. And there's a ton of different uniques that would be good options up here, like a Vamp Gaze, or a lower budget like a Rock Stopper, or whatever you find like that up here. Kind of different things that could get you Life Leech or Magic Find and stuff like that. Jump over to the shield here. We got a Rhyme shield, super easy to make. Sha-El-Eth, or Shale, whichever one you prefer. I kind of go back and forth on pronouncing that one personally, but block rate, block chance, regenerate mana, everything on here is good. All res cannot be frozen, and magic find for just those 2 little old runes in there. Obviously, Spirit Monarch later getting 2 to all skills along with everything else on that shield is probably going to be the best possible option. Storm Shield or something like that along the way. A Lidless would be good options along there too. There's a few different ones there that are good options as well. Take a look at the armor. I have this garbage stealth in a plate mail. Yeah, a plate mail. It's just some garbage stealth I threw together. It's always the go-to for budgets on every character. By this time in the game, maybe you could find something better like a shaft stop or all different kinds of stuff like that. Maybe put a smoke on here, a smoke rune word. But just a stealth with a faster walk, run, and hit recovery on that. It's okay. It's a super mega budget build. Once again, do remember that. Look at the boots over here. And what are these? Oh, these are some boots that I shopped from Anya. 30% faster walk run with some resistances on it. Just buy them from a vendor just to run around faster and get a little bit of resistance. Obviously, you could use water walks over here. You can use war traps over here. Multiple different unique items over here. Or you can actually get really good rare boots that are like tri-res, faster walk run, magic find, or they could have hit recovery on them and stuff like that. Those are going to be good options over here for the boots. Now we'll take a look at the belt, and the belt is probably going to be the hardest thing to find on this build. But this belt is pretty cheap to trade for, and it is not necessarily a must-have, but it helps out so much. And that is the Razor Tail, because like I was talking about in the skill tree, you got piercing attack, and it doesn't say it on here, but that piercing attack is 33% chance to pierce, and that helps your character out so incredibly much by the javelin going through each individual monster. If it does pierce and then it hits the next one and shoots out lightning fury all over again just from throwing one javelin. So this is what you're going to really want to try to find and try to trade for to get early on. Other types of options in here, maybe you just throw a gold wrap on to get some magic find because you don't have this yet, or some kind of rare belt, or you can actually shop belts from vendors that have 50, 60, 70, something like that life on them. Those are kind of the super mega budget options right there. We'll take a look at the amulet and ring now. The amulet here, you don't necessarily have to get a crafted amulet like I have here. If you just get a magic amulet with 1 Javazon skills, that's good to go, but this is one that I crafted, and it's definitely not godly. It only rolled with 1 to Amazon skills, but it's still pretty good for the Amazon. Getting 1 to the skill, getting a little bit of life, getting a little mana regen, and a little bit of mana. So it's just a budget option up here. Obviously, if you can get a High Lord's Wrath, or if you can get a Mara's, something really GG like that, or like I said, picking up magic amulets, maybe you can just accidentally find one that has 1 to Amazon skills is going to be a good option. We'll take a look down at the rings. This is just a simple blue life leech ring. Just wanted to get some life leech on this character because the gear is so crazy budget, there isn't life leech on any other stuff. And for the ring, I got a mana leech ring. Just wanting you pick up an ID and you find yourself a mana leech ring. That way I got mana leech and I have a little bit of life leech on my character. And you see down here, I actually have absolutely no charms. So for other options for the rings, obviously any of the unique options would be better. If you can get rare rings that have resistances on them along with any mana leech and life leech, or if they have any strength and life, a rare ring is probably going to be a better bet if you can get the leech on it along with all that other stuff. But I wanted to go super mega budget here just to show you what you could do. And then obviously I'm going over the other examples. On Switch, I don't have a shield on Switch, but I have a lower res wand, which you can use depending on how much you're struggling to take out act bosses. And remember, the act bosses might be tough with this character because your resistances are so low. I would suggest making that up, hopefully with some rare stuff you can find, or just if you find a 5 to fire res small charm, leave it in here. You find a 15 to life grand charm, leave it in here. I just have none just to show you how much that could be. But you cast lower res on the act bosses and then go up and hit, and it'll just increase your damage a whole bunch. Alright, we go take a look at the mercenary gear, and the first thing we'll look at is the weapon. You can see right here I have an insight, and you don't even necessarily need an elite base. I have this in a battle scythe, but the meditation aura will help you keep up your resistance. For the low runes that are in here, 250% enhanced damage is actually quite a bit, along with a bunch of other little stats along on this one. Now, quick note for the new and returning players, do not make this in a spear. Notice it says polearm class. It cannot be spear class. That is a common mistake made by new players. I probably made it back in the day myself. I wouldn't doubt it. But do not make it in a spear. Has to go in a polearm. If you can get an elite base or even an ethereal base, because items on mercenaries do not lose durability. So any item that you make in a rune word for a mercenary, it can be ethereal, and it was preferred to be ethereal, and also preferably an elite base. So on the armor here, this is actually one that might be tough to get a hold of if you're super mega budget. This is almost too high to include, but I decided to include it in it because the difference between this and anything under it is just vast. Really, treachery is as low as I would really want to go to have a functioning mercenary, because that Lemrune could be sort of tough, but maybe a bunch of Hell Countess runs you can get one. But with that crazy amount of increased attack speed on an armor, and actually that level 15 fade at just 5% is actually amazing, because the fade actually has a damage reduction property, so that will help your mercenary survive even more. Other options in here would have to be, like maybe if you find a Duriel Shell or a Shaft Stop and stuff like that, but they don't really compare to the treachery, to be honest. Up here, I got this massive Doom Visage. It's actually the Blood Helmet recipe, so it's a Ral rune. It is a perfect ruby, a random jewel, and this random helm. And it can be a helm, casque, or can't remember the last one. Not going to dwell on it too long. You'll have to look that up. But they all have to be the helmets that look the same like these ones. And I wanted to get Life Leech somewhere on my Mercenary. It's only 2%, but it's something. I wanted to get Life Leech on him. It also comes with Deadly Strike for the blood recipe and some life for the blood recipe. This one got a little bit of resistance as well. Poison length reduced. The mana obviously does not help your Mercenary. Anything else up here? Obviously Andaro's Visage, Vamp Gaze, maybe a Rock Stopper, different budget things like that. But some of those are actually significantly harder to find than this. This you can make probably in Nightmare if you wanted to. So hopefully you use this build and absolutely wreck Diablo 2 Resurrected here. If you do, hit that like button and subscribe up so you never miss any of the Diablo 2 Resurrected content. Peace out, YouTube. Hopefully I catch you in the next video. And don't forget, keep slaying.